Is the Twin Falls housing market about to shift, or are we actually looking at stabilization right here in southern Idaho? Welcome to the Velocity Housing Report for the Twin Falls, Idaho area and surrounding towns. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jeff Abram, and I am your active licensed real estate agent right here in Twin Falls with Fathom Realty. Let's jump in and talk this through. So the chart that I'm going to throw up here for you to take a look at, the first one, is average days on the market. And if you're new to this, which most of you could be, and the rest of you are probably seasoned vets at this, average days on the market is the time it was first put on the market until it goes into contract, or hasn't gone into contract, really, in certain sense. So let's take a look at this really quick, and that way you can see exactly what's going on. So if we pop this up here so you can see this, some interesting numbers are actually into this, and I think it's worth looking at for sure. I always like looking at days on the market because it does tell you a lot about what's going on in certain places. And since we're looking at different towns besides just Twin Falls, it's a good starting measurement for us to take a look at. So you can see right there, Filer looks like it's flying at 32 days, but there's a big caveat here. And that caveat is Filer only has 5 homes in the listing service. That's it. That's all they have. So it's a very small sample. So those numbers can be deceiving when you're looking at that, because you're going, well, Filer's just really kicking the doors down here. Well, not really, especially when you only have 5 homes on the listing service. 1 or 2 quick sales can really just swing the average on this. I mean, last week I think we were at 53 days. Now we're at 32 days. So you can kind of see what happens when a house sells. It kind of distorts the number, really. And I know what you're probably thinking, well, why are you putting this up there if this distorts the number? Well, I'm trying to give you an average of what's happening. That's all I'm trying to do. So let's just keep going down the road here. Twin Falls is at 57 days with 146 homes. By far the biggest part of the market right now. Buhl is at 59 days. They have 14 homes right now. Jerome and Kimberly are both at 72 days. Jerome has 42 and Kimberly has 20. 72 days is really crazy. I mean, for me anyway, because I thought about that when I was looking at these numbers. It took me the same amount of time to figure out what color to paint the inside of my house. And I'm still not sure I like it. So 72 seems to be a weird number here lately, because it's not the only one. We're not the only area on the market that has that 72 number. Day period. Now, I don't want to talk about those markets because they don't affect us. So I'll just try to stay in context here for you. So 64% of the listings are in Twin Falls. And it matters a lot, because if one city is moving like Twin Falls is and active like Twin Falls is, it tends to set the tone for the rest of the area as well. While Twin Falls is steady, though, the rest of the area is like a roller coaster by itself. It's either up or it's down. But it's still stable in all those areas when we look at more of the numbers with it. Now, in this next chart that I'm going to show you, it's pendings. I want to give you an idea in what it looks like in the last 7 days of how many houses went under contract in the Twin Falls area and surrounding areas. So let's jump into that one now. Twin Falls has 36 homes under contract as we speak today. Jerome has 8, Kimberly and Buhl have 6 each. Filer has just 1. When you look at that big blue bar, it tells the story. Buyers are in Twin Falls are jumping in. Just like mosquitoes in July, you can't keep them off a good listing. So I'm not here to give you advice. What I'm here to do is to break down the information so it's understandable and for you to figure out whether or not it's the right time to do what you want, whether you're listing, selling your house, or buying a house. But by the numbers and what we've broken down here, in my mind and in my personal opinion, and that's the only thing that matters here right at the moment, is that if you're thinking about selling right now in Twin Falls, if you price your house correctly, there's no way you can't get your house under contract in less than a month. And if you're looking at buying a house, Twin Falls is going to be a fast-paced place. So that means you need to be on the ball and ready to go. But if you're one of those people that wants to think about it, look and see what's going on, that's fine. You can do that. My suggestion, it's just an option for you, is to look outside of Twin Falls because it's moving a lot slower. Now, the commute part comes into play, but you might be able to get a better deal and the house that you actually want on the outside of Twin Falls. So here's a question for you. Twin Falls is definitely the hotspot, right? We've kind of determined that. If you had to move to one of our neighboring communities like Kimberly, Filer, Buhl, Jerome, to get a little bit more breathing room, which one of the towns would you actually move to? Leave a comment in the bottom for me. Tell me which one you would do. So the next chart I'm going to throw up here for you to take a look at in just a second is the market leverage. What happened this past week as far as under contracts? So did somebody gain the upper hand, or did we have a balanced week, or what kind of market outlook did we have this past week? So let's jump into it and take a look at this. Take a look at this chart here for you as soon as I get it up there. And let's go over. So if we look at this, just so you understand, blue means seller advantage, orange is balanced, gray is buyer advantage. In Twin Falls, right now for this 7-day look, we had 1 seller advantage and 8 balanced deals, almost 0 buyer wins, meaning that they didn't really come up in a big way as far as $14,000 or $50,000 under asking price or anything like that. The 1 seller advantage that we had actually sold for $54,000 over asking price, over list price. So the seller did pretty well in that one. I know a lot of you don't like to hear that, but I have to be honest and say that was a pretty good deal for the seller. Same story in Jerome, Kimberly. Buyer advantages is basically indivisible right now. So Filer's the same way. There wasn't a whole lot there, and Buhl was the same way also. So in reality, I mean, when you're looking at it, it was pretty balanced. I mean, there wasn't a lot there for last week of sales, whether they swung one way or another. Last week, we had a very balanced market, or a very balanced leverage right in there for all the towns and Twin Falls as well. It was a fair fight. We'll just call it what that is a fair fight. It's easier to call it that. This is good in aspect of, we're not having these massive swings up. We might have one like we did here in Twin with that one for $54,000. A couple weeks ago, we had one for $14,500 over in Kimberly, over listing price. We've had some that were $10,000 and some were at $5,000 in Jerome in the past couple weeks. So we're not getting this major swing, which is okay. That keeps everything kind of stabilized where we're at. If we're only getting onesies and twosies and not getting crazy like a shopping spree. So it's definitely not like it was a couple years ago where, man, we were just seeing crazy numbers coming up for prices of homes. And yes, the prices of homes are still up, and I get that, but it's not as bad, and even a couple weeks into the spring season here that we have, it's really stable and balanced. So that's a good thing for all of us. So here's the big takeaway from this. We're not going crazy. We're not seeing big numbers crashing or anything like that. The market's not going anywhere. We're not seeing the market explode either. So I think what we can say is that we have some stability here, but we also have some buyer advantage here. A couple deals here and there over asking price, or even at asking price, at list price. What you see on the markets and stuff, that's really balanced, but it's still a buyer's edge because that's what they asked for. They didn't have to negotiate down on price. They may have made some concessions. Doubtful, especially in certain price ranges. But when you look at the overall, especially from the past week, we're really steady right in the same market there. Now, when you're looking at what's moving out there, your under 300,000s are actually moving pretty quick, which should be standard, especially for people that are trying to get into the market. 300,000 to 400,000 seems to be moving really good as well. It's not like they're staying stagnant. When you get to the 400 to 550,000 mark, that is really the sweet spot. There's deals to be made, but stuff is still moving along in those price ranges as well. So if you're in that price range, don't get discouraged because there's still stuff on the market that's been on the market for a while to be had, especially in Twin Falls. This isn't just a Kimberly, Jerome, or Buhl Filer thing. It's Twin Falls as well as in that. But in Twin Falls, even in that price market, you still need to be on top of it and ready to go. Now, once you get over the 550,000 mark, then it starts to become really stagnant. And that's when you start running into a lot of time on the market. And if you're in that market, then you really have a lot of time to work to find a house that you want. And that goes for Twin Falls, Kimberly, Jerome, Buhl, Filer. So that goes for all of them in that price range. So the overall, I would say the overall is holding remarkably steady. I don't think there's any room to panic. Now, are we going to get a rating decrease at some point? Well, we thought we'd be getting that earlier, but we haven't got that one. And with the current climate and everything that's happening right now, I'm hoping that on the good side it's going to be May. But that could turn into something that we could all be having fun with too, which is more houses either entering the market or higher prices could hit. I'm not saying they are, so don't say Jeff said. I'm just pointing out that there's a possibility that housing increases could come with interest rate drops, because then more people are going, I'm more willing to jump into this and see what's there. So if you're a seller or somebody thinking about selling a house, this would be a good time to get in, because by what it's showing is that you're getting a bit of advantage here. In the very least, you're going to get exactly what you want, or maybe slight concessions to get it under contract. If you price it correctly, that's the key part of it. If you listen to your agent and price it correctly, you should be able to get offers on this and move on fairly quickly, because that's just what the market is showing us right now. Now, if you're thinking about buying a home, Twin Falls is going to be competitive. We've already covered that part of it. You might need to look outside of Twin Falls. That's completely up to you and your judgment of what you want. Just be prepared if you're in Twin Falls. A strong offer is going to really do the job in between that 300 and I let's just say 500,000. Once you get past that, you're going to have time to do whatever you need to do as far as finding a home that you want after that 500,000 mark. Don't expect a huge discount. I'm not saying that you can't get a huge discount by negotiating, or whoever your realtor is, like myself. I'm just saying don't expect it right out of the gate, like as in, well, Jeff said that I can get a discount. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you could, but don't expect it. There are other concessions that might happen. I don't know. I don't know the circumstances that we have here, so I'm just giving you an overall perspective. So, with all that information, I hope this has helped you out with the determination on what you're going to do and going forward. If you think it helped you out, or if you just want to listen more to me talk, that's even fine too. Go ahead and make sure you like, subscribe, and share this if you have somebody that's looking to buy or sell here in Twin Falls. I will leave a link in the comments to Market Report, so that way you can get signed up. It's quick, it's easy, it's free. No fuss, no muss, no haste. Just go in there and sign up for it, and you will get weekly updates of what's happening in Twin Falls. If you have other questions that I can help you out with, please feel free to put it down in the comments. I will do my best to respond to those. And that's it. That's all I got. So have a great day and happy Easter.